Well, good morning and welcome to our bi-monthly show, our Ask Mason questions, where people can send in any question that they want. We do our best to answer that. Something I wanted to do today was a little bit out of the ordinary. Wanted to come over and take all of our team to the fire department and come over and just talk to our chief on what it is that they do. And I just have a whole list of questions, just things that I think that I've always wanted to know about the fire department. And since I'm mayor, I get to ask those questions. So I've got our fire chief with us today, Chief Jason Currier. Chief, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I know you're a very busy guy, and thanks for taking time out today and sitting down with us and letting me ask a few questions.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Glad to have you here, and proud to show off the Enid Fire Department anytime we get a chance.
Oh, I don't blame you. Let's start off by just asking you a couple personal questions. So, you started when with the fire department, in the Enid Fire Department?
It started in August of 2000.
2000.
Yes,
so
sir.
You've been here just over 23
Just
years.
over 23. Yes, sir.
Yeah. How long as chief?
It'll be 2 years this November, actually.
Okay.
It's not very long. I'm still brand spanking new.
Hey, sometimes it's good just not to say a lot, isn't it? So people don't know what you don't know. No, I'm kidding.
I try to listen more than talk, for sure.
Yes, you've done a great job. Fortunately, you've got some guys who've been on the team for a long, long time that I'm sure can provide some help and some background. And
yes, we have 84 total staff here, everyone included, and we have such a fantastic team here. Everybody's really good at their jobs. Everybody loves working here, and I just have a lot of support. The guys really just want this place to do better, so it's a really good job to have.
Yeah, I couldn't help a while ago over my shoulder noticing the 14 photographs that are up there of the past fire chiefs.
Yes, sir.
Which basically makes you the 15th, number 15. I was amazed by that because I thought there would be more, but there's a lot of longevity, isn't it? We were talking about that a little bit. Can you comment on that? Just kind of.
Yes, sir.
They stay around for a long time, don't they?
Yeah, firemen tend to like what they do. So we are very career oriented. Most people that come into the fire service stay at least 20 years. And after you get off the truck, it's still a good job. Moving to the staff positions in the offices and things like that, the support roles that let the suppression guys do their jobs on the trucks, it's very rewarding. So most people stay in staff positions for quite a while. And so, yes, most of our chiefs were chiefs for, on average, maybe around 10 years or maybe some of them more. Chief Clover stayed for 15. That's one of the longest chiefs we've ever had. So it is a career-minded type of job for sure.
You mentioned a while ago that you've got 85 total firefighters or on the staff.
Yes.
I'm assuming. What are you actually budgeted for?
84 total personnel.
Okay.
That includes 2 civilian personnel that run our front office. We have a prevention division. We have a fire marshal and 3 assistant fire marshals. Our training division consists of our training officer and assistant training officer, the chief and assistant chief. And then we have the suppression division. In the suppression division, we have 72 personnel maximum, and those are the guys on the fire trucks.
Okay. You're always needing to hire more, though, aren't you?
Always.
I mean, it's always a constant movement. Probably one of the problems with guys who've been around a long time, eventually they want to retire, don't they? I mean,
they've definitely earned it by the time they get there.
They've earned it,
yes, sir. They definitely get some miles on them by the time they put 20 years on in this job. But yes, we're always looking to hire. As a matter of fact, right now we are 7 positions short. We've gone through a hiring process over the last year, and we are in about 2 weeks going to start a in-house academy with 6 recruits. Hopefully they make it through that academy and we'll be able to put them on fire trucks. So we'll be getting closer to full staffed here within the next 2.5 months.
So several weeks ago at one of the study sessions, prior to that, you and I happened to be downstairs, and I asked you about how's your recruiting going, and you threw some numbers out that I was shocked by. How many you had apply, how many you had show. Will you tell that again? It took me back. I thought I was misunderstanding what you were saying.
No, not at all. Looking for employees has definitely changed over the last couple of decades. You know, 20 years ago when I hired on, it wasn't uncommon for us to have around 100 applicants. And out of that, they would end up with a qualified pool of applicants of about 50 to 80. It varied every year. But by the time you go through the process, you're going to weed some people out. And that's kind of the point. We want to make sure and hire quality employees. The world's changed a lot in 20 years. So, for example, this last year, we pushed social media really hard and thought that would be a really good tool to get the word out that we're hiring. What we noticed was out of the 97 applicants, which is the first time we've been close to 100 applicants in quite a while, we were really excited about that. Social media did its job, got the word out. The first step of the hiring process is a physical agility test, and where we show up and they run their mile and a half and do their push-ups, sit-ups, and all those things. That first phase of the process, 32 people showed up out of 97. So it's really, that's a sign of social media, is it's really easy to push a button to show interest, but it's another thing to show up in person, to put in the work. But that's why we go through our process. So out of those 32 people who showed up to do the physical agility test, 12 passed. So that just tells you it's pretty tough. It's not easy. And so out of that 12, we whittled down. We've gone through the different pieces of the process. And like I said, now we're down to actually putting people in our in-house academy, and we're down to 7 people, and we need 6 right now. So
out of 97
yes, sir.
Applicants, initial applicants.
Yes, sir. We ended up with 7 qualified right now.
And those are great jobs, aren't they?
Fantastic jobs.
I mean,
I've done a lot of things in my younger years that I made a lot of money or really enjoyed my job. But it wasn't until I started here that I said, this is what I want to do forever. You get to help people. You get to have a lot of fun. I mean, you're living around a bunch of other guys, like-minded people with the same aspirations. We get to help people. We work an average of about 10 days a month. Great
so it allows
benefits.
them to do other things too.
That flexibility to have
Yes.
time off and go watch your kids' games, spend time with your wife, travel, things like that. A lot of guys have their own businesses and their side jobs and things like that. And then the retirement side, which a lot of people don't think about. You can explain that to young people.
Yes.
They're not thinking about down the road. But pensions and retirement systems are very important because you're going to want to retire. And that's why I'm excited for the guys that get to retire here. I mean, I hate to see them go, but like I say, they've earned it. And so when somebody gets to retire and go on and be secure in their retirement, get to enjoy their retirement years, well, I'm excited for them. It's great.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you started an academy is what I understood, right?
Yes, sir.
It used to not be like that years ago.
No, sir. Over the years, things always change, right? We've had different resources throughout the years. For a large majority of our history, we would bring new hires in, give them a brief overview of what we do here at the fire department, and then as soon as we could, we would ship them off to OSU or somewhere like that, or Autry Tech for a fire academy. And that takes a lot of time and a lot of expense, and you're relying on other people to train those people to what your standards are, how you operate. And there's a lot of things that are common in how fire departments operate, but every department is distinctly different in their strategies and tactics and just their cultures even. So we felt it was important that we instill our cultures and our strategy and tactics in our people. And so we went from that short 2-week introduction to the Enid Fire Department and then shipping them off to now we do an 8-week in-house academy. And our training division does all of it along with the crews on the trucks. Our training division has set up a training schedule for them, and it's an intense 8 weeks. They cover everything, so much so that this year is going to be the first time, this next academy, when they're done, we're going to have them challenge the Firefighter 1 test, which means they're not going to go to the traditional fire school. We're going to walk in at OSU with our recruits and let them take that test to certify without ever going to their schools.
Really?
We feel that it's that quality of training that we're doing here now. So after 8 weeks, they're going to be on our trucks and they're going to be productive firemen that our officers don't have to babysit. They're going to be safer on scene, and our manpower is going to be better quality and better outcome as soon as they hit the streets.
That's excellent.
We're
Very
excited
good.
about it.
Absolutely. So we're sitting here at, this is Station 1, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Station 1. And I know for a fact you've got some trucks and
a couple.
vehicles out there.
Yeah.
And Would it be possible for us to go out there and take a look at them?
Oh, I'm sure we can talk somebody into giving us a ride, yeah.
You know someone?
Oh, yeah, I do. I know a couple people, and they really kind of like being on trucks, so it's not hard to talk them into it.
Good, good. Well, let's do that.
Absolutely. Sounds like fun.
All right, great. Well, Chief, we're back.
We are.
And a little different setting this time.
My favorite setting.
Yeah, this is my first. I've looked at trucks before, fire trucks. I've stepped up in them, but this is my first time to actually take a ride. So
Well,
thank you, first of all.
Absolutely. Welcome aboard. This is Engine 1. This is one of our newest fire trucks. And as much as I do like being fire chief and all the other positions I've had with the fire department, on the truck is by far the best job to have. So this is great.
They're massive, aren't they?
They really are.
So much larger than what I thought it would be on the inside.
To hold all the tools, equipment, and of course the structure of the truck itself is the haul water and the stream and master streams on top and all that stuff. Yeah, they're big machines.
So you said this is one of the newer trucks. How long have we had this truck?
So this truck is about 3 years old.
Okay. And I think we might have purchased this one when I was on Ward 6, actually.
Yes, sir.
I remember whenever that come up on the agenda, I looked at that price and I thought, what? You know, they don't give these away, do they?
No, and you only get one for that price. You'd think you'd get like three, but no, you only get one.
Yeah.
Fire trucks are extremely expensive, especially over the last 3 or 4 years. They've really gone up a lot. And that's why, like you talk about all the time, how bringing business to Enid is so important. The tax revenues, the money that comes in the city, that's the only way the fire department is funded. So this truck is about $750,000.
Wow.
We have a heavy rescue on order right now. It should be here in about the next year or so. It takes about 2 years to get one. And that's about $900,000. And not too far down the road, we're going to be asking for a new ladder truck because it's well beyond its lifespan.
You saved that one to the last. I've got a feeling it's going to be the most expensive.
It's a little bit higher, yes.
Yeah.
Right now, it comes in around $2 million.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Really? So what would the height of that new ladder truck be?
Our plan is to replace it, the ladder truck that we have with exactly the same truck. It's been extremely durable, great quality truck. It's a 100-foot platform ladder. So
wow.
The ladder extends 100 feet and it's got a bucket on the end. That's why it's called a platform. But the 100 feet doesn't give you 100 foot of reach. Because it can only go to a maximum of 70-degree angle, it'll get you around 85 feet in the air.
But that's important because we've got some tall buildings in Enid.
Absolutely. Trying to reach over buildings, get on the roof of buildings, reach up the side of tall buildings. It's a very useful tool. Fortunately, we don't have to actually use it a lot, but when you need it, you really need it.
And even though these things cost a lot of money, we use them for a lot of years, don't we? I was just, you were showing me around the station, and you guys actually have your own support team that works on these, don't you?
Absolutely. Yeah, a very important part of our staff is our mechanics division. We have one master mechanic, he works 8 to 5, and 3 assistant mechanics, and they work on shift work just like the rest of the suppression personnel do. So they work 24-hour shifts, and during that shift, they're out in the shop working on trucks, air packs, and all of our other tools and equipment. But if we get a fire call, a fire alarm, smoke showing, something like that, the assistant mechanic runs out, jumps in the ladder truck, and gets it to the scene for us so we can have it there if we need it. But they maintain all of our equipment, all of our vehicles. It's a great asset to us to have them in-house where we get things fixed quickly, low cost, but they do amazing work for us keeping us operating.
We were looking at your air tanks. You do all that in-house too, don't you?
We do, yes. They do all of our SCBA maintenance and inspections and all that stuff, except for the hydrostating of the bottles. That's one thing that does require us to send the bottles off to be tested every so many years.
But prior to that, you used to have to send the bottles all the way to Oklahoma City, right? And pay a fee, and the cost of going down there. I mean, this probably really does, in the long run, save a lot of money for the city.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The more things we can do in-house with the training of our people, the better off we are.
So, Chief, I was looking at some numbers from last year. Don't know how current they are this year, but you guys last year responded to 5,664 calls.
Yes, sir.
And that was about 3 times as many as I had anticipated. You know, I should know better. I live near one of the fire stations.
Yeah.
You know, so I hear you going out all the time. But
So you only hear 1/5 of them.
that's
though.
right.
Right.
That's right. But that works out to about 16 calls a day.
Yes, sir.
Every day, whether it's a holiday or not,
Year
right?
in, year out, rain or shine, Christmas or just an average Tuesday, yes.
16 calls a day.
Yes. We have 5 stations, and it does vary. Time of year, weather, I mean, you know, all the factors involved change how often we run.
Yes.
It might be 1 in one day, and it might be 40 in one day. But you're right, our average is about 16 per day, which is good because it gives us a little bit of time to train. And as you saw a while ago, our guys are in there doing the RIT drill. And we don't just do that with new guys. The guys that you saw doing it in there have at least 5 years on. I mean, it's something we do on a recurring basis. Everybody does that training on a regular basis. We got to stay tuned up. We got to stay ready to go. So
I will tell you, when you took me back there a while ago to see that, I saw that and I thought, well, I can see how they could do that. I didn't know until we got up there that you black all their face masks out. They cannot see anything, can
Right.
they? And they have a limited amount of time because they're on oxygen or air, not
yes,
oxygen,
sir. Breathing air, right?
while they're actually doing that exercise.
Absolutely. And the whole point is to make it as realistic as possible. So blacked out, you have to use your senses. You have to use your hands, you have to use your ears, you have to use your brain. It really makes communication difficult. But that's the key thing, is doing it every once in a while so you keep up your communication skills. You know how to be a good team member, cooperate with your teammate, communicate to accomplish the goal. But that's the whole idea, and to stress that training and throw in factors to where that doesn't always go well, problem solving is a big part of our job. And so if we're, every time we train, we're just patting ourselves on the back because we did good that time. We did everything right. Oh, we always do everything right. We're not learning anything. So we always try to throw kinks in there, make it complicated so they have to think on their feet, problem solve, adapt and overcome, and that's how we get better.
I want to go back to the number of responses, some of those numbers. I love looking at numbers. Numbers always tell such a pure definition of something that's happened. I was noticing 89 house fires, and which I thought that would be higher, right?
Right.
But you mentioned something to me the other day that's actually down. Tell me why that's down.
Significantly, yes. And of course, when I started 23 years ago, I wasn't the numbers guy. I was just a guy on the back of the truck having fun, right? But to the best of my memory, I think we used to average 1 house fire a week. It sure seemed like it, and over the last 2 decades, those numbers have decreased. Obviously, with 89 structure fires in a year, that's not very many. So an actual structure fire may get reported differently. So we have small fires in structures, probably a little bit more often than that. But a lot of that is due to our prevention division. Our fire marshal's division go out and do inspections, teaching fire safety, things like that. Our Fire Safety Week every year, we go talk to kids in schools. We teach them what to do if they see smoke, what to do in emergencies. We have a smoke detector program. All the technology out there and changes that have happened over the years, all those things contribute to a safer environment, safer community, and a reduction in house fires. Doesn't mean we're not busy though.
No.
We've adapted to the types
Yeah.
of calls we go to over the years, so we do a lot more medicals and help lifts than we ever have.
I noticed that. That's like last year was 32 or 300
Yes.
of those that you did.
Yes, it's close to 90% of our calls.
I don't know if you know or not, but one of the reasons that we have the good protection class that we do for insurance and Enid, you and I were talking about this, but because you guys respond on every single call, that helps lower the insurance rate for everyone here in Enid, both on car insurance and on house insurance.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of times when they get there and there's been 2 cars run together, you think there's no danger, and then all of a sudden gas starts leaking out, right?
Right.
And
So yeah, that system, we get a rating from the ISO, Insurance
Yes, sir.
Services Office. And that setup is designed to evaluate a fire department's protection ability and how it applies to its community. So we are evaluated every 3 to 5 years, and when they evaluate us, they go through everything, fine-tooth comb. Every aspect of our service, from the hydrants to the trucks, our inspection program, our training records, every tool that we keep on every truck, all of our run reports, our response area. I mean, so many things go into it. It takes days for us to compile all the data to turn in the reports for that review. Days.
Really?
Yes. So it is a complicated system. It's very detailed. But when you get your rating, that's what they use to hand out to insurance companies to show them how protected your property is, your car, your community. So it's really important.
Well, I've had people ask me before, why does the fire department respond every single time?
Right.
That has probably saved our community, our homeowners and our people that have insurance on their automobiles, millions and millions of dollars.
Absolutely. A distinct difference in your ISO rating for the average residential property can be as much as a difference of around $1,000 a year.
Yes.
It just depends on the rating in the community, but yeah, it does make a big difference. And part of the reason we respond to everything is, the other services have limitations just like we do. So, for example, police department, they go to a lot of things that we don't, of course, but when they need help, we help supplement them, and they do the same for us. Share resources.
Absolutely.
The ambulance service here in town, they have limited resources. So we are a first response agency for them. And so any medical call, any distress call that comes into 911, we respond as well. That way, a lot of times we can get there first or along with them and begin patient care and at least do an assessment and have that information so it speeds up their turnaround so they can better serve all their customers and so that our citizens are better served all the way around.
Chief, I wanted to talk just a little bit about, I know when we have grass fires that you have to work with the voluntary fire departments around the area.
Yes.
But we also have another fire department here in town, that'd be Vance,
Yes.
right? So what is your relationship? I mean, how do you guys work that between the rural areas, Vance Fire Department, and our team?
So everything takes teamwork. If we could do everything, it would cost the taxpayers $1 gajillion a year. I mean, it's just not possible to do everything, right? So it's really important to play nice with your neighbors and be good teammates. The county has 12 rural departments surrounding us. 9 of them border us directly. So we try to really have a good relationship with them so that we can all share resources, which reduces our costs per department and gives us a larger response capabilities when we work together as a team. So those neighboring departments, we try to train together, we communicate with them. The guys out in the field get along great because they're all there to accomplish a goal. So that end of it is always really important to us. Those rural departments around us are a huge asset to the Union Fire Department. Vance Air Force Base, well trained, great guys. They are dedicated to the base, obviously, and they have to have resources on site anytime there's a plane in the air. So we do help them protect Eisenhower School, which is on the base.
Yes, sir.
We help them protect some of the residential areas because they can't pull all the resources if they have a structure fire or something like that. So again, working with their neighbors, and if we need help, they come off base and come help us out as well.
Really?
So it's all about sharing resources and working together.
So I know that here, I don't know, it's probably been 60 days ago, the Air Base Vance wanted to have an active shooter exercise.
Yes, sir.
Which actually includes not just Vance, it included our firefighters, our police department. Can you tell me about that? And then I'll tell you what I know about it.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, we can share notes.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, we periodically do cross-training with other departments, and sometimes when we do that, we try to make it a large-scale incident.
Because there are more and more of those, seem like.
Well, that
out
too,
there.
but it's kind of plan for the worst, hope for the best situation. By doing those large-scale incidents like that, you try to overwhelm your resources. You try to test your capabilities. Like I said a while ago, you don't want to walk away from training saying we always do everything right because you don't learn anything. So doing those large-scale drills like that really show your weaknesses. Communication, always a challenge. So when you see a flaw somewhere, we can always do better here, we can always do better there, that is a huge benefit. So for that active shooter drill, yes, we were training to be prepared for that type of a situation, but it also helps prepare us for the bigger scenario, the bigger picture. We can apply a lot of what we learned to a tornado response. a downtown fire where it's going to be a lot more than we can handle and we need help. Large scale incidents can happen at any time. With all the rail we have in town and things like that, we always have to be ready to work with our teammates, our other agencies around us, to handle those things, and that's how we do that.
So I will tell you what I know about that event. Because of being mayor and getting to meet a lot of the people out on base, I received a phone call from one of the colonels just shortly after that event,
Okay.
and went to great lengths to tell me what a great job our fire department and police department did. And I appreciated that so much.
Sure.
And one, he didn't have to do that. And two, we want to be good partners.
Absolutely.
Absolutely good partners.
Well, that's great to hear. Really appreciate that. That's a huge compliment. I mean, like I say, the military's very well trained. Those guys out there are great. We love working with them, and we have plans to start working together a lot more often, doing a lot more training together.
Good.
It's just a great resource to have. So to hear that coming from them means a lot.
Good. So I'm going to ask you one more thing, and then I'll let you get back to your day.
Okay.
But if there was one thing that you could tell our community, what would it be?
Actually, that's probably the easiest question you've asked me so far. The support we get from our community is just overwhelming. On a regular basis, we have people visit our stations. We have people bringing donations to our stations. We have people bringing thank you letters. It's just amazing how supportive our community is. And to have a job that you love, to be able to do that job and people appreciate what you do, means a lot. So when we go out to help people in this community, we know it means a lot to them. We know they appreciate it. It makes our jobs even better and makes it easier. That's what I would say, is just thank you for your continued support. We're glad that you see us and appreciate us, and it's very mutual. We really appreciate the support that we have here.
Well, Chief, we do. I told you that on the first day on my job.
Yes, sir.
That we appreciate everything that our first responders do in Enid. I'll put you guys up against anybody around our state.
Me too.
And you make us very proud. Every time I hear the sirens go off, I know that someone's going to be better off because you guys showed up.
Yes, sir.
So thank you for what you do. Make sure your entire team knows that.
I will, absolutely.
That is a team sport right there. It takes
Absolutely.
every single one of them to make that work.
Absolutely. We got a great group of people. From one end to the other, it's a great place to work, great group of people. And anybody interested in being a fireman will probably start another hiring process in the spring.
And I assure you that as a city, we will always work to keep you guys funded with whatever you need.
Awesome.
We
Thank
want
you.
you to
Appreciate
have
that.
great equipment.
Thank you.
So, thanks, Chief. I appreciate
Thank you,
it.
as always.
All
Fun
right.
to talk to you.
Same here. Well, that wraps up our show today. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. It was an honor to get to ride around in one of our fire trucks, get to talk to Chief Jason Currier. I think it's important that everyone in our community know just what a great fire service that we have. Next time you see them out on the street, make sure you pat them on the back because they deserve it. Next week, we've got another surprise for you I think you'll like. In the meantime, if you have questions, just contact me at askmason@enid.org. Thank you.